Hello and welcome to this edition of the show. I'm your host, Brian Mallard. And just a reminder, if you want to interact, you can do it on Facebook, Google Plus, or YouTube. And preferably Google Plus because you can chat, but either one of those three. And you can get through to us to ask questions, ask Matt questions, tell us how we're doing, how great we're doing, how not great we're doing, and tell us how you want to vote for Donald Trump. Just kidding. This week on the show, we have our very first guest, Mr. Matt Austin. Matt, it's a pleasure to have you on. Again, it's you've had a lot going on since the last time we've had you on, and which was the debut episode. So I think that we've refined it a little bit since then, and we're going to.
I like to break the fourth wall.
Fourth wall, yeah. So,
he was looking at me, guys. I had a mental lapse. Actually, we want to welcome back Matt Austin.
Yes,
he was our first guest on the show, and I know Brian had just mentioned that. But today I want to take a few minutes. Today is a very special day. So, to all the dads out there, we're going to start things off by saying, "Happy Father's Day."
Happy Father's Day.
So, Brian, Matt, Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not a father. I've been called some names before.
Dude, you're not that far from it. So
I am, however, a father, and we got a crazy 2-year-old. I also am a son, and my dad is in the air right now on his way home from Australia. So, I don't know if he's going to get a chance to watch this, but
there you go.
Happy Father's Day to you, Dad.
Yeah, Happy Father's Day, Matt's dad.
Happy Father's Day, Matt's dad. And Happy Father's Day to Tim, who's bound to think is your father, I believe.
But you didn't say Happy Father's Day to.
Happy Father's Day, Matt.
Thank you, Brian.
And Happy Father's Day and good night, John Boy.
There you go.
Okay, silly stuff out of the way. More to come. Now, let's recap a little bit since it's been, a good 5 or 6 episodes since you were on before. Where were you born?
I was born in Montgomery, Alabama on December 24th, 1989.
Ooh, youngster. What'd your parents do?
Oh, at that time, I don't know. Like we said, more silliness to ensue. Right now, my mom is a nurse at the dialysis clinic over on Manchester Expressway. My dad is actually part of the Russell County Board of Education.
Cool. And where did you pick up wanting to play music?
My friends all played music. I tried to play drums and never did get the coordination down. So I said, hey, let's try this. I told my mom and dad I wanted a guitar for graduation, and they got me one.
Excellent. And then the rest is history. You played with some other bands. Tell me a little bit about that. We're recapping, folks. You may have seen this, but if you have not.
The first band I ever got a chance to play in was Ophir Drive. And that was a kind of spur of the moment. It was like, Brandon Tharp at the time was like, hey, we need a bass player. Can you do it? And I was like, I've never played bass. He was like, don't worry, you can play guitar. It's good enough. And I said, okay. And I showed up to a practice and never left. And they never told me I was hired, but they never told me I wasn't hired either. So, I played with them for about a year and a half before we finally said, all right, I got a job. I can't, I'm not able to get time off work now. So I've got to do this. And, I got out of it for about 5 years.
Wow.
So, Matt, I have a question for you. We actually broached the subject when Skylar Softly was on a couple of weeks back, and then once again when Neil Lucas was on, and it just seems to be a common thread. When you began to play, what was your first guitar?
I can't even give you the model number, but I can tell you where it was. We went to AJ's Music.
AJ's.
Down there by Lake Bottom. And they had I say it was a gift set. It wasn't really a gift set. It was just a standard Dreadnought acoustic guitar. It was a Squier. that my parents got for $150.
And if you
Wow.
didn't see the Neil Lucas interview, Neil, we love you, but we still hate you. His first guitar was a Fender Stratocaster.
Like a vintage one, I believe.
It was. It
Yeah.
was 60 something. I forgot what. I don't think 68, 69.
Neil.
See, that's just when you know, like that's what he's gonna do.
Yeah, yeah.
You just know.
Now, yeah, I actually AJ's on the subject of AJ's. I actually got my first guitar from there. It was a 6-string acoustical Samick. Did not plug in. Sold it to Rusty. Just somewhere out there in the ether now. But yeah, AJ's. That was the place back in the day.
I actually bought my first bass from there too.
Really?
I was playing when I started playing with Ophir Drive. I was borrowing Brandon Tharp's gear. I was using his bass amp. I was using his basses. I was using, all of his stuff because I didn't have any of my own stuff at that time. And I got money for Christmas. I said, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna buy, my own bass. And I ended up buying a Squier jazz bass, and I still have it.
Cool.
That was that white one that I was playing
yeah.
with you guys.
Now, a little bit, since this is actually Father's Day, tell me a little bit what it's like juggling having a 2-year-old and being a musician.
It's one of those things. She enjoys it. I sit around the house and play all the time, and she runs around and dances. And even if I mess a song up, it's like, "Yay, Daddy!" I'm like, "Yes,
Yeah,
I'm an all-star."
best fan ever.
And when it comes time to play, like coming up this Wednesday, I'm playing down at the office.
Cool.
Starts at 8. That's a shameless plug. I will get off work. I will go home and pack my stuff up, and it will be one of the days this week I just won't get to see her. And it's hard in that sense, but when, it's like a job, you got to look at it like, okay, Daddy's got to go to work.
Right,
you know.
right. Mm-hmm.
I may enjoy it. It may not feel like work.
That's work, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I got to drink beer while I was at work.
I know, right? Sometimes I think my coworkers are drinking beer while they're
Sometimes I think my coworkers are drinking something a little stronger than beer.
Now, interestingly enough, fast forward 20 years and your daughter's on the show. And she's like, I'm asking her, where'd you learn music? And she's like, well, I used to watch my dad. He'd sit around the house and play guitar. And he was always gone. He was going to work and go play. Yeah.
Sad to think about like that, Brian.
Let's rewind 20 years to now, and we're good. So now we're gonna get into in just a minute a little bit of what you've had going on because a little bit's changed since the last time you were on. Since our first episode, Matt's music endeavors have evolved considerably, and evolved even since they evolved. And we're gonna go to a commercial. Tim dials it up. We're gonna come back, and Matt's gonna play you a song that we're gonna talk about it a little bit.
Timeless beauty at the Gypsy Cherub, 3760 Woodruff Road, Columbus, Georgia. Class is back in style.
First thing I remember knowing was that lonesome whistle blow in a young man's dream of growing up to ride on a freight train leaving town, and not knowing where I'm bound. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. One and only rebel child from a family meek and mild. Mama seemed to know what lay in store. Despite all my Sunday learning, towards the bad I kept on turning. But Mama couldn't hold me anymore. And I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. And no one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried. Dear old daddy, rest his soul, left my mama heavy load. Tried so very hard to fill his shoes, working hours without rest, wanted me to have the best. She tried to raise me right, but I refused. I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried.
All right. Mama tried.
She tried.
Hello, guys. I promised I would never do this, but while Brian gets set back up to conduct the rest of his interview here, just thought we would go ahead and thank each and every one of you and remind you that if you ever want to react with us on the show, you want to ask guest questions, whatever, go to Google Hangouts. That's probably going to be your best bet. If not, you want to do it Facebook ahead of time. And if you can't do that, you are always welcome to go to the playback or the live showing on YouTube.
You can always leave comments. We can address it then on the board or the next week, however you want to do it. Hi. Now, we got situated here. There's something I'd like to address. First of all, great job on the song there, Matt. Appreciate that. Well, Merle Haggard, I believe.
Merle Haggard.
Now, you've got a child. Again, this is Father's Day, and something I probably might have asked on the first part. Are you going to teach your daughter music? Or are you going to tell her to stay as far away from that junk as she can?
You know, it's one of those things. If she wants to learn, I'd be more than willing to teach her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if she's one of those people that she has absolutely zero interest in, then, you know, that's whatever she wants to do. You know, I'm not going to force anything upon her. If she wants to, I'm a basketball guy. My wife is a softball player, was a softball player. And I say I am a basketball guy. I'm not anymore. So if she wants to play basketball, she'll play basketball. If she doesn't, I'm not going to make her. You know, it's going to be one of those kind of things where she's got her choices that she wants to make, and if she wants to do something, she can. If not, you know, that's her decision.
Sounds good, and that may very well be a good subject for the next Moderately Informed.
I'm not going to go there. Those guys,
Hi, John.
Those guys. Cool. Speaking of which, you know what? Moderately Informed. I had told Brian I was going to do this. We're just going to try something. Matt doesn't know about it either, and I just wanted to see how it was, because you know what? These two guys, both of them, and let me go here because I'm trying to do 50 things at once. These two guys, both of them are awesome musicians and guitarists, and they are constantly up on stage and getting the accolades, but I'm always stuck behind the computer, and you know, it's always a bridesmaid, but never a bride. So
and an awesome job of sitting at that desk.
You know, and I just decided that before Brian, who by the way will not be here next weekend, he's going off on some personal business. So you really want to come and watch this train wreck with me next weekend. I tell you what, it's going to be something you don't want to miss. But I wanted to show Brian that I know he sits in front of the camera a lot, but the actual power is behind the board.
The power is behind the board.
So in that aspect, it is time for us to play the show Game Time.
Woo, woo.
And what I did was I actually have 10 questions, which I wanted to ask these gentlemen. And
wait, are they hard questions?
Well, no, they're not hard questions. And yes, we're going to keep score.
Ooh,
but I don't have to participate in this actually. So, and I get to make the questions. And by the way, gentlemen, these the answers are not debatable. I have the last word.
Oh,
So,
nice. We have a judge. Tim's
Hey.
having way too much fun back here, guys.
So let me see. Actually, we're going to start off. Matt, he actually has a very, very cool beard. So automatically, Matt gets 1 point. Just due to the fact that he has a cool beard.
I'd
I'm
like to
sorry.
point out that the guy behind the cameras also has a beard.
Yeah, but it's not as cool as Matt's. Matt's got a cut. And
Matt
it's
does
just
have a
awesome.
cool beard. Very cool.
Okay, second
It's
question,
only taken
guys.
5 years to grow.
And I know this is kind of slighted, so you want to pay close attention. What, as of last week, is the superior breakfast meat?
It's always bacon.
Well, according to the
Now, you
guest who
sat
actually
next to him.
it was sitting next to me, it's actually sausage.
Oh, Brian is on the board, ladies and gentlemen.
It's
It
always
is
bacon.
sausage, according to
Now-
Mr. John Edwards.
Now, unless you go to Plucked Up, if you go to Plucked Up, it's always chicken.
Wow,
Wow, interesting.
I guess it would go different places, different ways. But as of
Interesting.
last week, so you have to
As of
watch out
last
the way
week.
it's phrased.
This is 7
okay?
days dated, guys.
All right, third question, and I believe it's tonight. Who will walk out of the Money in the Bank match as the WWE World Champion?
This guy has no clue.
So okay. So are we going Money in the Bank ladder match, or are we going World Heavyweight Championship?
World Heavyweight
match?
Championship match.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna see, and here's what I'm gonna say happens. Rollins has returned
Right,
for a title that he never lost.
right,
He beats Roman Reigns.
right.
Dean Ambrose has already won the Money in the Bank World Heavyweight Champ, or has already won the Money in the Bank briefcase. Takes down Seth Rollins after Roman Reigns hits him with
And
a spear.
I agree with him 110%. Therefore, I knew Brian didn't know anything about the WWE. I had to. Therefore, we're just automatically going to award.
To me,
Matt, that
WWE
point.
means women everywhere.
All right, gentlemen. Third question. And, I slided this because I thought that Brian for sure would get this thing, but I did not know that Matt was a Star Wars fanatic until probably like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's actually quite
So
interesting.
basically, I was just going to ask, who directed the last Star Wars film?
The very last one.
The very last one. Because I have no idea. I told you, Star Wars, I'm totally clueless.
That would be Mr. J.J. Abrams.
That's right. That's
All
right.
He's the one that screwed up Star Trek, but he did a pretty good job on Star
And he
Wars.
kind
And
of
Brian goes to
he did
two.
an all right job.
yeah. I mean, they're still better
All
than
right.
the prequels.
We got. I'll actually have to throw a little controversy here and watch out what you say.
Uh-oh.
Who will win the presidential race at the end of this year?
It's interesting. I like to go backwards in time a little bit here. And when in 2008 or preceding the election of 2008, there was, whoever was running, and this guy named Barack Obama came into the house, became a household name.
Now be careful. This is my IP address that Big Brother's going to trace down.
Well, I'm not going to insult the guy. I'm just going to say that the second I heard his name, I said, he's going to win. He's our next president. He's going to win this. He won this twice more. Now my ESP here is, you can test it because we have not reached election day yet. But when I heard Hillary Clinton was running,
And he said the wrong word, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not saying that I support Hillary Clinton. I'm just saying I believed as of like 2 years ago that she was going to win. She was going to be our next president. And I'm not saying for her or against her. I'm just saying that I believed that she was going to be the next
But you said Hillary Clinton. Therefore, Brian loses 1 point.
It's like
Because
around.
he
It's
said
like
Hillary
around the
Clinton.
horn on ESPN. Like,
I'm trying to
Can you
save
hit
our
the mute
guests
button?
here. I'm trying to save our guests here. All right.
I'm staying away from the whole political thing. I don't follow it enough to really even be able to know what's going on, and I'm ashamed to say I'm not a registered voter.
Oh, well.
So I don't get involved with it. I've got my views, and there's things that Obama's done right, and there's things that he's done wrong. There's things that George Bush did right, and there's things that he did wrong, and there's stuff that Bill Clinton did right and he did wrong. And it doesn't matter who's in there; they're gonna do stuff right, and they're gonna do some wrong stuff.
Hey, you couldn't have said it any better than
And I'm gonna be honest, personality wise, I'd rather have a brick in office than than any of the candidates.
It's like the
right
meme
now.
says, straight out of options.
Actually,
Yeah.
I was going to say the
Exactly.
actual correct answer is none.
No.
So, okay.
Can we write in Timothy Childry?
Hey, it's your vote, Mr. Matt. You can do anything you want to. All right, ladies and gentlemen, making fun of last week's program. And by the way, if you didn't get a chance to watch it with John Edwards, go back, look at it.
It was a good
You'll
show.
get the joke, and actually, it's a very good program. Do you consider Hillary Clinton a man or a woman? Because we're going to the transgender thing too, so I just thought I would throw that in.
Good question. It's like Rodney Dangerfield. Somebody asked me, said, "Do you have any kids?" I said, "Yeah, I got 3, one of each."
Dump.
Oh,
So, is she a
man,
man or
or
woman?
woman? Yes or no?
I'm going for one of each.
One of it. No, we can't go there. But I tell you what, since I feel so bad about taking that point away from Brian, I'm going to give it right back. Okay?
yeah, I've got nothing for that.
So
one.
Brian and Matt are tied up. Okay, this next question would be it's going to be a hard thing to do, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm actually going to give them time to think about it. Actually, a 30-second countdown here. Who, out of everyone in this room, is the coolest, suavest, most debonair? And I'll give everyone a hint.
Mr. Scoreboard.
And 5 seconds. It's in the red zone. All right, here you go. Brian.
I would say it would have to be Mr. Tim Childry.
Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you so much. I don't know why you said that.
I think can we flip a camera around? There's a mustache on the wall right here,
Well, I can't get one there.
and I
but there's
think
a big
the
mustache.
wall is the most debonair.
Okay,
true.
Brian wins that point right there. ladies and gentlemen. That's all we're going to.
He's got the
Okay.
curly Q vaudevillains mustache right there.
He does.
Okay, and this one actually is Brian actually is, I don't know if he wants me to announce this, but he actually is getting married
He is.
in a couple of weeks.
Yes. Brian is
Not a lot of
finally-
people know that. Matt is absolutely
Congratulations, Brian.
I appreciate
I didn't know that. Well, I mean, I saw it coming. It's not like it's a surprise.
I figured it was probably about time I stopped stringing her along.
floored. Okay, but Matt is married and I'm married too. Yes or no? And watch out how you answer. Is there a proper way to grovel if you forget an anniversary or birthday of your spouse? I can tell you now, no.
I just say, hey, babe, I just realized that it's your birthday. Do you want to go eat? And it's like today, she forgot it was Father's Day. She woke up this morning. She was like, oh,
Wow.
yeah, it is Father's Day. I said, so are you hungry? She said, yeah. I said, okay, what do you want to eat? She said, I don't know. I said, good. We're going to Zaxby's. It's Father's Day.
He takes control. He's a man, ladies and gentlemen. And every married man can tell you, Brian, if you haven't got a doghouse, I don't care what your wife says that she loves you, you better go out and get one because you're going to need it.
Stacy and I settle things through lightsaber fights.
That's right. I forgot I ran into y'all at Walmart that night.
So I tell you what, I'm just going to give each one of them a point. Brian, you're actually ahead. I didn't know that.
I got a free
4-3.
point. I got a free
Yeah, he
point,
did.
and you got a point taken
He
away.
did, but you're actually going to get this next one. I bet.
Is it worth 3 points?
No, we're not going to go there. Actually, we only have 2 other questions. So, and this will be what the next to the last one, which is really, it's not even a yes or no question. I just wanted to stick it in there for information's sake. Where's your next gig?
The Office.
Yeah, he said that a while ago.
I've already plugged it.
Where's your
Guess
next
what?
gig after that?
He's
Well, here's the deal. If you tune into the show next week and it's a complete train wreck because of Tim, not that it will be.
yeah,
uh,
sure. Okay.
I will be at Wild Wing Cafe again on Sunday afternoon. So you come in, you see some things you don't want to see. You tune into the show. Maybe, you're used to seeing Brian. You got to look at Timothy's ugly mug.
There you go.
You can come down and look at this.
I'm about to take another point away, ladies and gentlemen. But I tell you what, it was a race to 5. So the last question, this is going to decide it. What is the name of your favorite podcast?
That's a toughie.
Just the fact he had to think about it is
Here's
insulting.
the thing. See, I like the show. I don't always get to tune in, and I always feel bad about it because you guys are my friends. But the one that I always get to tune into because it's always downloaded to my phone automatically, and you had him on the show last week, Moderately Informed.
Wow. He's knowledgeable, very knowledgeable.
He is. He
And it's simply because I can automate it. I wake up on Tuesday morning, and it's there.
nice.
Brian, you have to say the show.
My
You have
favorite
to.
podcast is.
You better say the show.
I'll be fired. The show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner, and they pulled it out of Brian. Actually won. All you had to do was say the show, Matt.
I did say the show.
Yeah,
Technically,
you
he did.
said
He just-
moderate. Even though John, we love you. You said moderately informed.
He meant as a guest.
Oh.
Last week's show. He was actually getting
I was-
specific.
I was plugging for my friends. Come on now.
Okay. Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, that was the show game time. We had to have a time filler on this one, so I'm going to let Brian continue his interview.
Excellent.
And we thank you for playing.
That was fun. We need to get some really like questions that'll have like people like bar fighting and.
I didn't have a lot of time. I knew Matt would love the money in the bank.
I'll put you in the figure four leg lock. You know, there's times me and my father-in-law will sit down and we're like, all right, so who's going to open the show this week? And we will just like right now, I'll say, this is what's going to happen. Then this person's coming out and this is what's going to be the end of the segment. And it's this person starts the show. This person came out and that's how the segment ended. And I always feel like, and I'm not bashing this, WWE creative has gotten so repetitive.
They have, ladies and gentlemen.
But I do see, and I'm calling it right now. Dean Ambrose wins the Money in the Bank ladder match. Unfortunately, I would love to see Sami Zayn win it. But Dean Ambrose wins it. Seth Rollins gets Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns hits him with the Superman punch and a spear, and Dean Ambrose comes down and cashes in. And Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose ride off into the sunset.
And guys, you heard it here. I tell you what, with that said, we're going to go ahead and go to our next commercial. I know Brian usually calls this, but we're going to go ahead to our next commercial and come back and actually go back in our interview with Matt, find out what he's got in store for the future. So stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Catherine Childry with Let's Vocalize. For over 35 years, I've coached vocalists and groups privately. I also perform vocal workshops training choirs. I'd love the opportunity to show you how direction, discipline, vocal health care, and regular practice can drastically improve you, your group, or your choir's performance. Call me at 706-536-6123 or visit us online at www.letsvocalize.com. I'd love to help you offer your best gift.
Hello and welcome back to the show, Matt Austin, guest. So, I understand the NBA finals are tonight.
They are. I'm going to be flipping back and forth. Actually, I'm not going to be flipping back and forth. I'm going to be keeping up with the NBA finals on my phone, just because we've already discussed what's going to be going on. And I always like to stay up to date on that. Yes, that is scripted. I do not think the NBA finals are scripted like everyone else says they are. They are not. But yeah, they are. I've got Golden State beating Cleveland and Steph Curry just having a ridiculous game after the way he ended last game.
That's hockey, right?
It's basketball.
Okay, we're not going to go there.
Pittsburgh Penguins won the hockey finals. Come on now.
I can actually talk about sports anytime as long as I am prompted as to what to say and told exactly what to say because I know nothing about sports.
Hey, I tell you what, Matt, I want to ask you real quick, get us back on track here real quick. Before you guys go into your next gigs where you're going to appear, so forth, where can we as laymen go to keep track of where we can go see you live, where we can, get recordings and so forth?
I knew this question was coming up. I was going to give you a sticker and hold it up.
Really?
You forgot your sticker?
Really?
I did. I forgot my sticker. It looks like you've got a graphic
Guess
queued
what?
up, though.
Awesome.
Right there. MattAustinCountry.com or on Facebook.com. Hang on, I gotta get my bearings.
Yeah, he's doing it backwards here.
Facebook.com/Matt Austin Country. You can find all the upcoming stuff. That you can find a calendar on MattAustinCountry.com even.
Very cool.
And there are pictures if you are, booking for a certain venue and you are tuning into this show. This is the place to go. It's got my email address, all my contact info right here.
Main one is that website, MattAustinCountry.com. I almost forgot the country. So I'm going to head it back to you, Brian.
So Matt, since the last time you were on, you've gone through your band has gone through some evolutions.
It has.
Tell us a little bit about that and where are you at now?
We have changed our bass player and our lead guitar player. Me and Kurt, we talked about some things and I decided I wanted to go a different route.
Mm-hmm.
Love Kurt, fantastic guitar player. But we had a guy fill in and I really loved the way the guy played, loved his sound. He comes from a hard rock background.
Nice.
So yes, we are doing country music, but we have got a spin on it.
Cool.
Kenny Lewis has also decided that he needed to go do some other things and take care of some family issues that came up. Or I say issues, they're not issues. He had some stuff he was going through and dealing with. And, so he said, hey, if you need to find somebody, go ahead. And I actually called up my sister's fiance and he is playing bass for us now.
Cool.
So we've got a new guitar player and a new bass player. And Tyler Cardinal's playing lead guitar. He spent some time with Tommy and Chrissy Andrews, just like Blake has, the drummer.
Yeah.
They have played together in that outfit. They're now playing together in my band now. You got, like I said, Randy Murphy is the one filling in playing bass now. And he got a call and showed up and came in and nailed it and played a full weekend with us. And after that, that was it.
Yeah. When you find what works, you just go with it. Very cool.
That's exactly how it happened.
Where do you see your band going from here?
Well, next month we're going to LaGrange.
Nice.
If that counts. We'll be at the Brick House on July 1st, up there in LaGrange, Georgia. And I've got kind of a resident at a residence at the Mountain Creek Inn up in Pine Mountain. I'm there once or twice a month. And then back at Wild Wing that Sunday. So I've got a full July 4th weekend. If you're not going out of town, check out this website, and that's where you'll find out where we'll be.
And something you talked about before we started shooting was how you have a full band, and sometimes you also can do a solo acoustic. So like if venue owners run across this, if we're talking about a band here. But if you are a smaller venue, don't necessarily need a full rock and roll country band.
Right.
Then they can also do smaller venues.
And that's what we did last night. Friday we did a full band at Wild Wing Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday, we're dealing with families going out of town and backyard barbecues. Business is starting to slow down in certain places. And I actually did a duo last night. Me and Tyler got together and we went out and played a gig last night.
And, I'm going to mention something, too. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Brian.
Right ahead.
You guys, if you can, you need to get on. And I know Matt's telling you to go to MattAustinCountry.com. But if you can, slide over to his Facebook page, too, because he is making extensive use of Facebook Live. And you can catch him pretty much every time he's at Wild Wing Cafe. He plays one or two tunes, and it's really nice just for me to sit there and have nothing to do. Then suddenly he's like, Matt Austin, and boom, I can sit there and watch a tune or two.
And that's probably the only place I'm going to do it because I can connect to Wi-Fi there.
That's one
smart
thing.
Man.
Wi-Fi goes a long way when you have things like Facebook Live.
That it does.
I love to do that at work, but I would use a lot of data and I would get fired. But
yeah.
So, Matt, tell me a little bit. Let's go through this again. What advice would you give to aspiring artists?
Keep plugging away. Since last time we got on here, my booking has slowed down a lot, and it started to pick back up again. So don't take that I'm not busy, because I am. But don't give up. I've had venues that I can call, and they don't call me back.
Yeah.
And it's places that we've played before, And it's like, yeah, I'll get with you on, whenever. And it's been a month.
Right.
And so I'll call and remind them and be like, hey, just wanted to see if you, got a chance to, and they hadn't called me back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a call out on anybody. I'm not saying,
Right.
I'm not even going to say names or venues or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's my business I'm dealing with. And that's not, to say that they are bad people, because they're
Right.
not. They're great people. They just are super busy.
Right.
But there's times that your booking doesn't go the way you want it to go, or, you end up like last night where there was nobody there. That doesn't mean I'm giving up on that venue. That doesn't mean I'm giving up on that place that we played.
Mm-hmm.
It just was a slow night.
Yeah, but you got to.
It
I guess you
happens.
got to factor in how many times you've been there and it's absolutely packed compared to one slow night.
Right. Exactly. And last night was a victim of circumstance. It was, excuse me, it was a Columbus Lions game going on. There was a bar crawl downtown. There was the thing for AJ McClung last night also.
Also, Miss Georgia.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just a hard weekend.
Yeah.
Or I say a hard weekend. It was a hard night last night. Friday night was awesome. Place was packed. Crowd was involved. They were dancing from the first song we played. There were people up there dancing.
Wow, that's good.
And it was the first time we've ever had that happen, and it was really cool.
Very cool. Now, definitely the music business, as in any artistic business, is very difficult sometimes, and it's very much business, and sometimes things will appear to not go as you would like, but yeah, it'll turn around.
I'm hoping it will. It started to already, but let's keep it going.
And you know what? Speaking of Matt, I was just listening to him as far as keeping his dreams alive and everything. Before we get out of here today, I wanted to sit here and compliment Matt, because I know my wife is a voice teacher, and she has several students that does this. But Matt actually had the guts and the fortitude to take his act up to Atlanta, I believe it was.
We went to Atlanta.
He went to Atlanta for the first rounds of The Voice.
Yes, that's
And
right.
I commend you for doing that, just for trying, because you know the old saying that you miss 100% of the shots that you never take.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So, how was that an experience for you?
Well, it was definitely an experience. It was we went downtown. They had it at America's Mart, which is right in the heart of downtown Atlanta.
Wow.
I mean, it was when we got in the building, I could look out, and we were like a block down from the Tabernacle.
Wow.
And Centennial Parks. I mean, so it's right there in the heart of downtown. And I actually got a chance to stay in a hotel downtown. I hadn't gotten a chance to do that. We stayed within walking distance of the place. Like,
That's cool.
I was out the building at 6:30 in the morning, walking to the line.
Wow.
Now, as soon as I got in line, that was when it all sank in. I was like, man, I'm about to go do this. And now it's like, all right, well, I got to wait in line for 2 hours before I even get in the door. And then, then I got through the door, and then you go up the stairs and you go to another room and they do security check. And
Wow.
then you go and you wait again in another room up another flight of stairs. And then you sit in there until they take your whole section and they let you go. And then they put you in a group of 10 and send you back upstairs. And then you sing in front of 10 or 12 random people. And it wasn't until I was not nervous. I was fine until I got in that room, and there's a duct tape line on the floor, and they said, all right, so whenever I call your name, you're going to come up and stand on this orange line. And he called my name, and my heart went doo-doo, doo-doo. And I'm like, oh God, here we go. And I did it. And I thought I did pretty well. I don't always think I'm the best, and I knew it wasn't perfect. But I did the best I could, and I just didn't get through.
Mm-hmm.
And worst case scenario, I have a Monday through Friday 8 to 4 job that I can go to. I've got, all these dates booked already. I'm still plug along,
Well, you are doing it right. And I mean, those things like The Voice, as far as I'm concerned, those are all sensationalized TV shows. And not that they're without their value, because people, get through that way. But I don't know. I've just never it's never quite been my forte.
But no matter what it is, and we're going to wrap this thing up pretty soon. No matter what it is, I see it as the pursuit of a dream.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what road you take. At least you're moving forward.
Yeah.
And if you ask any person who's successful in Hollywood how they got there, the road getting there is just like, wow.
I'm trying to think who it was, but before they got cast for their first role, and it was a huge role. It may have been Bruce Willis, or it was one of the big name,
Right.
male actors, and he got cast for this huge role, and guy found him he was a waiter at a diner. And it was just a right place, right time. Hey, you look like this character we're trying to cast, and come out and do this reading. And he went out and he got this, he got this part, and
Wham.
I mean, ever since then, I for some reason cannot think of the name of the person who it was, but it was one of those. He wasn't in the business, and then the next day,
Not only in the
day by
business, but
day.
a star.
but it was a successful movie. I can remember that.
Man.
It was a big movie, but I cannot for the life of me think of what the actor's name was.
You'll remember it as soon as we close. on the
Exactly.
cameras,
And Matt, I just look at it like this, and that is that Matt looked at the road that he was on, and he decided, you know what, I want to skate to where the puck is going and not where it's at.
yeah.
And he said, hey, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to do this. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't get through it, but I'm going to try.
And you can always do it
And-
again next time it comes back.
And with the hockey reference, it was I skated towards the puck and got checked into the wall, and I fell down, and I'm back up again.
There you go.
I mean, it's one of those.
And yes, Brian, that was hockey.
The successful guy is the guy who gets up one more time than he fell down. So.
Hey, last time before we go, we just want to tell everyone once again, Happy Father's Day. I know a lot of you guys will be watching this on the playback due to the fact that it's a beautiful day outside, and you're out enjoying it with your family, which actually could have been part of the things from No People last evening, Father's Day weekend.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
But, we want to go ahead and let Matt get out of here, too, because I know he wants to enjoy the rest of his weekend, stay and be cooped up here.
Matt, appreciate you coming on again.
Thanks for having me.
No, my pleasure. Thanks for coming. And Tim, we want to thank Tim for running the equipment back there so good, because I work with a lot of stuff, but I have no clue how to run the equipment that he runs.
I'm looking at the screen, and I'm like, okay, what's next? What buttons are
Just
going
push
to
the
push
buttons.
next? And so it's definitely there. He's got two screens going, and
Yeah.
I've got one at work that I can hardly make it do what I want it to do.
So roll that beautiful credit footage, and we will see you next time.
Hey, got it. And join us next week. Hey, I should say join me. We're going to try to get Brian in here. We don't know if it's going to work out, but please, I need all the help I can get. Hey, guys, you have a great weekend and a great day. Thanks for joining us.